welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to show you a couple of updates that I've made to my grow space. And the biggest thing that I've done was I maximized the vertical space by adding these lights up top. So my thinking here was that I'd be able to get more orchids to fit just using the tops of my shelves. And I used two pretty standard desk lamps. I've clamped them onto my grow shelves with some wobble shims. So these are plastic little inserts that you can use usually for wobbling furniture and uneven floors. What I did was I used them and I sandwiched them together to create some stability for the arms. These are regular desk lamps, which I'll link down below, and I added a grow light to these lamps. So this gives me a lot more space, I think. I added one of my larger orchids up here, my Oncidium Hilo Firecracker New Year. That one takes quite a bit of space. And then I've got my Monstera up there as well. So I'm still updating this and changing it a bit, but it's added a ton of space. And now I can plan this area out a little bit better. So I think you guys have seen my setup already. I've done 2 videos as I've updated this whole setup, but I've updated the lights. They're off right now to make it look a little bit smoother. When they're on, you can't really see the pots or anything. I'll turn them on at the end. But I've slowly been updating my lights to the Orchid Hobbyist lights. I used to have some Monios lights and some key hung lights, which I've got from Amazon. I'll link the videos down below where I showed you those lights initially. They worked really well. I really like the key hung lights, but I'll say that with these 2 shelves, having those Orchid Hobbyist lights, it was a different color temperature than this shelf, which had 2 lights on the bottom, which were different, and the 2 lights on top, which were a lot more yellow. So I'd get headaches when I came in here just because there were just different colors of light all the time. So I've updated everything, and on this shelf over here to the right, these are my Cattleya orchids. So I've got 3 lights per shelf, which are, they're not high output lights, but they recommend 3 for the higher light requirement orchids. So I've got some Dendrobiums and Cattleyas here, and I hope they get them to bloom. We shall see. And then the shelf next to it, I've got, on the very bottom, I have 1 strip of light, and I will be putting my Phalaenopsis orchids down there once they go out of bloom and lose their flower spikes. And then I've got my other moderate to low light orchids here. So I've got my Oncidiums here, I've got my Twinkles, I've got my Zygopetalum. Basically anything that needs more moderate light is on these shelves. So I've got highlight over here, 3 lights per shelf, and moderate light here. And at the very bottom, I've got low light as well. This is the same case for this shelf here. You guys have seen this again. There's 2 lights per shelf. I've got a heat mat over here, which I keep quite warm. You guys have seen this before. But this is for my semi-hydroponic transitions, and this is working out very nicely. I have it up here because it's at eye level and I can constantly flush these and monitor the roots. I've got my Oncidiums, a Dendrobium over here as well. These are clay pots which dry out super, super fast. I gotta water them every day, so it's very convenient for me to just pop in here and water them. And then at the very bottom, I've got my Catasetum orchids, which are dormant already or heading into dormancy. I'm gonna play around with what I do with the Catasetums. Maybe I'll put them up top because when they grow, they get super bushy, but I'll plan that out. I didn't quite think of that when I got all these Catasetums, but yeah, we'll play it by ear. So my best shelf over here is this top shelf. I have everything in bloom over here, so I can see everything and display everything quite nicely. Anything with long flower spikes, such as this Heaven Sent Sweet Baby, is up here. As you can see, the flower spike is larger than this shelf. So anything with large flower spikes like Phalaenopsis or Oncidiums are over here. This is all at eye level so that I can enjoy it. And I've got a couple that are just coming into bloom, and I'm really excited about them, especially this Neophanetia over here. I love the fragrance. And I realized that all of my orchids will be growing, so I've got a couple of Dendrobiums, and I've got a friend with the same Dendrobiums, and I thought that they were going to remain more compact, but turns out that they get quite tall. They can be 3 to 4 feet tall. This one in particular, my friend has. This is the Dendrobium Spanish Eyes, and hers is over 3 feet tall. So it's not gonna fit in these shelves very long, so as I'm planning this space out, I am considering adding an arm to the upper left-hand side of the shelves, and then I could hang it over right here. It'll have plenty of vertical space to grow, and I think I can't get more Dendrobiums, but I'm basically planning it out that way where if I need a very tall orchid, it's gonna go right there, and I'll just add another arm, hang it over so it's quite high, and there'll be plenty of vertical space. You guys have already seen this room before in terms of new things that I've done. I've added a little mat at the bottom of this, just because my cat likes to climb into the orchids. I don't always have it down, but this prevents her from getting into any of my pots with pebbles in them. She loves digging in for it. I found that it deters her from going in there, so I'm gonna keep it there. Sometimes I put it away and she avoids it just because she doesn't like when I put that down there. I share this room with my cats. I've got the litter box there on the corner, and then over here is where I keep my storage. So these are my pots. So I keep any extra pots down there. All of them, well, most of them are self-watering pots or nursery pots or transparent pots. And then in the cubbies, I've got my supplies. I've got my sphagnum moss over here, different supplies. I've got my fertilizers, my CalMag, stuff like that in there. Lava rock, different, this is like cocoa peat or something, hydrogen peroxide, different supplies over here. As you can see, the punctures, of course, that was my cat. And then, yeah, I've put all my pots at the bottom there. So I am using this for storage here. I've got my heater turned off, actually. This apartment stays quite warm, but when the heat was on, it caused a lot of the buds to blast. So I keep it off, and I have moved a humidifier right next to it. This humidifier used to be right over here in my grow space. It was right there where the watering can was, but I found that by doing that, it started rusting my shelves, so I decided to move it. I keep the lights on 12 to 14 hours a day, depending on the season. In the summer, I go to 14. Maybe I'll experiment with 15 hours, but for winter, right now I have them on a timer for 12 hours per day. I use a Wi-Fi plug where I can control the time that the top lights turn on and off on my phone. And then I've got an automatic timer strip over there. I'll link all of that down below so you can check it out if you're interested. And then the last thing that I've got, this is empty space here, which I'll figure out what I'll do. I sort of don't want to add more shelves. We shall see. I'm thinking of adding like a couch or something like that, a daybed. But over here, we've got a fan. It's off for now, but this is an oscillating fan, and it's hitting my grow shelves 24/7, 365. It's just going back and forth and making sure that there's proper ventilation here. And yeah, in terms of the humidity, this room is maybe 125 to 150 square feet. It's 40% humidity right now. It's winter time and it tends to get very dry, but I can increase the humidity here pretty significantly if I close the door. So this is quite a big unit, and if I close the door, the humidity increases very quickly. So I can get it all the way up to like 70% in the winter if I close the door, but normally I keep the door open because of the cat and her box. But I think I'm gonna experiment with leaving it slightly open to trap more humidity in here. Last but not least, in this room, I've got these this little unit. Don't mind the distilled water there, but I've got this little plant stand. I usually keep it by a window in the summer, but I basically use this to quarantine any new plants if I get them from a nursery that I'm not too familiar with. If I notice any pests, any bugs, they go here so that they could stay away from the other orchids. And then I don't get too much light from that window in the winter. There's light that comes in the summer, but it comes in sort of like at an angle. So I don't have any orchids on that window until it gets more towards spring, summertime. So all of the lights that these guys get are from those grow lights. Anyhow, I know that was a lot. I just wanted to show you guys this tour. We're at the 10-minute mark now, so I think I'll end it right here. I will keep you guys posted on any updates that I do. I am super excited about potentially adding a light there for Dendrobiums, but I think that's it for now. I think I've got plenty of space for my orchids. And yeah, I'm very happy with this setup. So anyhow, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more orchid updates. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.